Now hold up, pause, booze. Why y'all listening and not subscribed yet? Go ahead, click that button. Don't have us over here giving all this good energy for you to disappear next week.
It's your girl, Ringo.
And LA Nice.
And this is
That
Quiet Storm.
Hey, boo.
Hey, girl.
You ready? Yeah, girl.
Hey y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Welcome back. We are back with our episode 11 and I am excited. I'm hyped. You manifest, you know. All of our guests have been very special to us.
Yeah.
We've had Jersey.
Yes.
We've had Will. And this one is very special to me because I had somebody in my life, shout out to Gee, hey Gee, who once told me, you're going to love me. And she went home with me that day from church and forced us to love her. And I do. That's me of her. My guy.
Hello, brother.
Told me, he had already warned me about her. And I say warned because he was like, she's a nigga.
Warm is great.
He said she's a nigga. And that's what he said.
Right.
Wait, hold on. On top of that, she's my Gemini sister.
Period.
And y'all know about me, these Gemini. I do love Gemini.
Okay.
I do. And so I was determined, like, oh no, she gonna love me. Let's get into who she is.
Yeah.
Everybody, this is Mandie. Shout out to Mandie. I first heard her on the stage of the place we go to all the time, where someone performs all the time as a residency
On Sundays.
and
I Ashley's plug
on Sunday
at the Freedom Cafe.
10 o'clock p.m.
Just go ahead. And you don't have to figure out who he is because it's an orchestra. You know. Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so I saw her perform, and I remember being like, oh, who is this? And every time I saw her, I was like, no, for real, in real life. I like any performer, and I always say this, who forces the audience. I'm not moving on if y'all not. If y'all not, I always talk about that with her. If y'all not giving me back the energy, the Gemini, if y'all not giving me that, I'm not doing it. And so one time,
I remember, baby.
one time this couple was in a corner, and they were like, I think kissing and stuff. She stops mid-set and is like, hold up. Because I see y'all over here. That right there, I live for. I live for that because I love performers who you feed off of the audience because we like that. And she's like that. We're going to put some clips in here of her. She doesn't know this.
Oh.
We're going to put some clips in here of her because I need y'all to also support her because she has extraordinary music out.
Yes.
Hello, nobody.
Every platform.
Can sing her every platform. Okay, okay. Now she's also
She could sing.
she can sing, right? I actually was like, I'm gonna sing background for you.
She did.
Yeah.
Our first encounter.
I did.
Literally.
I did.
That was the conversation.
Swear to motivation, because she don't want nobody. She do not want. She don't even claim being a. You're right. I'm going about it.
You don't.
You're right.
You don't know her.
Wait a minute. Church. Oh my God. She is. Not only is she the praise and worship leader, she's a choir. And so I get her, whether she wants me to come or not, heavy in the audience. And she be like, she can't give
Every Sunday.
She can't give me. And she's strong.
Yeah.
And she's I'm not going to say a girl. I'm not going to lie to y'all and say she's a girl's girl.
I'm a real girl's girl.
A real What is a real girl to you?
If you are a genuine person and you are a female, I'm your girl.
Yeah.
I'm not a pseudo anything. There's nothing about me that's fake except for these flashes.
Hello.
That's it.
And it's yours. So it ain't.
Because I'm That's it.
And yet she is so niggerish. And I know that she was fighting. So yeah,
I'm gonna say.
I'm gonna tell a story about her fighting. And the fighting goes into what this is about. So one time, she was on stage performing. And a young lady, I saw the whole thing.
Well, I wasn't on stage yet.
I thought you were on stage. You came off stage.
No, what happened was, you want me to tell you? The young man that we had both been dealing with at the time was on stage performing.
Okay.
And we had a group text about everybody's performance because we were at somebody's birthday party. We were all on the same ticket.
Okay.
And in this group text for about 2 weeks, everybody knew what everybody was singing.
Right.
So just common courtesy as an artist, you don't want to dip into somebody else's set list.
Of course. Right.
We don't dip into people's set list just as a common courtesy, but he chose to that night. So I knew what type of time he was on. But we got that relationship. So while he's on stage, I'm downstage and he and I are having banter back and forth because that's our relationship.
Yeah. Right.
Of course. She chose to insert herself into something that had nothing to
she
do.
that?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. And because she did that, because I need to clear it up. It had nothing to do with us fighting over him.
Yeah.
Because I would never.
Yeah.
Discussed fight over a man.
No, thank you.
It was simply because when she inserted herself into business that was not hers, I had to rectify and tell her, hey, baby, this ain't got nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
And while my back was turned as I walked away, she hit me upside my head.
And I saw that.
With her purse.
Yes, I saw that.
So
let me go. So I saw that. And I remember, because again, you know, people have to be warmed up to me because I don't know if it's the East Coast of me. I don't know if it's my girl's girl. I don't know if it's because, you know, I could come off whatever. I really don't care. If I love you, you will love me.
Right.
And so at the time, we weren't who we are now. And I went to her and I was like, don't do it. No,
don't do it. No, don't do it, Miss. No.
Yes. I was like, oh, Miss Sally. And she didn't even pay me any attention. And I understand that demon time.
No, but
demon time. I was hoping it would blow over and young lad would go on about her business.
Young lad.
She did not.
What I saw was them carry her through that back door. You know, the Freeman has 2 sides.
Yes.
And on the other side is the alleyway. So I knew they taking her outside to get away from
This is what I heard.
And I said, I'm going to get her.
And he said he was like trying to.
He said, Mandie, you got too much to leave. You so great. You got too. I said, either she gonna get this ass whooping, or you can get.
That's what he said. He said it. He went like this.
I was to think they sound like the Red Sea. All them boys.
He said he was away. And what I heard from that point, I wasn't there for that.
I wasn't there.
Listen,
it's crazy.
Now, young man who's in this story, love you down.
Love you down. I still love you down.
Love you down still, but I gotta tell the story, right? Because we don't lie on this show. A lie in real life sometimes, but I don't lie on this show.
We're gonna be real.
And what I heard was you walked away unscathed.
Well, she ripped my necklace off, and that pissed me off. It was the only thing that made me mad. And what happened was I picked her up. Like a toddler.
Tell the story.
In a daycare. That's behaving badly. Yeah. And I slammed her to the ground. And as I proceed to do more, everybody said, that's enough. You got your leg back. So all the boys had me.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because what I heard, I think she lied a little bit, y'all. Maybe we should tell her we don't lie on TQS. We lie in real life. Maybe she doesn't remember. Well, maybe she don't remember. When I heard
you go for it.
I heard you went for it.
That's it.
I heard you went for it, and I heard it was all over the floor. And listen, I'm gonna say it because I'm the one who'll say all the stuff that shouldn't be said on here for you all. I also heard he tried to say something, and then he ended up somewhere
on the floor. Well, no, that's not true. He was trying to gather her. Right, he was like, that's enough.
I'm not going to cut your parts in that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
See what I'm
I said you can give her,
saying?
or you can be next.
See?
Those were my words exact.
My point in that is that's one story of several
It's so many.
about how she can be nourished. So with that, I was like,
But never unprovoked.
no,
Tried my
no, she's not. I've not heard bully. I've not heard bitter. But in the Dallas scene, everyone, and you can vouch for this out nice. In the Dallas scene, she's a force. She is known for her talent. She is known for her her presence, her aura, her voice with her.
I love you.
And we love you more. Yes. We are celebrating International Women's Day. Yes. Chose her for this episode.
Not even just a day. We celebrating this whole entire month. And
period.
We just so happen to do this on the actual day of International Women's History Month.
Yes.
Which has actually been in celebration from women since 1978.
Teach us.
It was not nationalized in observance of the nation until 1987.
Wow, that's 3.
1978 is when women started to recognize each other.
And it's been 10 years.
And yes, it took them 1987?
Yeah.
A whole decade.
And look, if you look it up, please do.
You smell good, girl. That thing is blowing you. You smell real good, girl.
So, like, in observance of that, it happened on 1987 in the month of March, where we recognize the resilience, the strength, because women are overlooked. And that's just women. But when you put a black woman on that, specify.
There was someone, actually Louis Farrakhan, I believe, was the one who said it. Because to all my Christians, let me say that I know you grew up church like me. I know you didn't, but you still
right.
Do not underestimate people like Louis Farrakhan. He actually preaches on Jesus and stuff. Hello.
Yes, he does.
He was the one who said the black woman is pretty much the bottom of the totem pole. So, yes, that means something that the black woman. And when I found out when International Women's Day was, I was like,
yeah,
that is the most perfect episode for her. We watched her perform, and we don't get into it. We watched her perform at a place she has a residency at every other week.
right.
We've all seen her as strong and resilient. She's very guarded, which I think is good for artists and good for Black women. She's very protective of herself. She's cautious.
Yeah.
And
Cautious
you have
is
to
very
be.
good word.
Yeah. You have to be.
You have to in the climate of where we are.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to downplay our Black men, right? Because last week we did talk very quick on the vulnerability of Black men.
Right.
And understanding their ability to be in a safe space and open up. And the reality is they don't have it.
Yeah, they don't.
And so we heard their stories, but what we have to endure as Black women.
Some of
And cover.
it's almost like we're conditioned to it.
Groomed for it.
Groomed.
From the
Conditioned, groomed into who we have to be.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot more research into love and lust and understanding and what we need to be, because let's be honest, growing up, we weren't taught what to do and to be other than the natural cook for you, man. Clean the house. Make sure you look good.
Be the freak for
Be
him.
the freak for him. But there's so much depth to us.
Yeah.
And to understand who we are and who we can be for our Black men, because they are told not to say anything, not to voice their opinion and all these other things, but we endure so much that we don't talk about it. And I'm passionate about
And
that.
we're not safe to talk about it. And that is something I've always viewed Mandie as extremely strong. Strong is the word. I take people and I put them in categories. That's the Virgo in me. I categorize everything. And she was the one I put as strong.
Yes.
I never presented her with bullshit.
Nope.
I never presented her with falseness of me. I've always given her the real Baltimore me, and she's always accepted.
Love.
And that's what I look at.
Love.
I've never given her anything but the real me, because I knew her bullshit meter was top tier.
Understood.
You don't know this. I found out before we started. Today is 6 months to the day.
Wow.
My guy and her are close. He's the minister of music for the church. She is the choir director over the praise and worship work. They are like twins in this. And so she called him 6 months ago. I was there when she called him, actually. I didn't know what was being said on the other end of the phone. I could only see his reaction, which was, he's not a very, well, y'all should know, sidebar, he's gotten quite emotional with me. I think TQS is helping him. He's changed a lot.
We're doing work.
We're doing the work. But back then, he was still the old him. And he's not very emotional. I knew it was something horrible. And then when he told me, we see Black women as strong. You're either bitter or you're strong.
Right. Too much.
We're not about, we're not about, no.
We gotta be soft. We gotta be.
And it was important to me that we put a voice to this because LA Nice said something to me about this. And I was slightly offensive, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Because I was once the person who said what she said.
Yeah.
And then I have my own story, but it's nothing compared to other people I know, but even to Mandie.
I'm gonna stop you there. Because don't underestimate you and your value and what you went through and what you endured.
I get it.
Everybody. So what we're talking about today is domestic violence.
Domestic violence.
And this is something that no woman, no man should ever have to face or go through.
Absolutely.
No matter how resilient you are, no matter how strong you are, no matter how difficult you are, no matter how indifferent you are, no matter, it doesn't good.
You'll get labeled.
That's good. That's good.
You will get labeled. And we're going to talk. We want to know about
That's good because that will be the excuse. It's difficult.
Yeah.
She asked for it. It's good for her.
So I did make the statement and I said, when dealing with domestic violence, I did think I'm this strong woman. No man could ever put his hands on me.
Like I said.
And I understood why you could have taken offense of it. But
and I wasn't offended at you.
Yeah, no, but it makes you think.
People think that.
Yeah, and that's the reality.
Yeah. So my situation was quite different. I've had my own domestic situation. I won't get into it because we've healed since then. I was one of the ones, I was just like LA Nice. I was like, couldn't be me. Would never be me because, and at the time I didn't say anything because, that was funny? No. I don't know why I didn't say anything. What? I don't know why. I think it was because I didn't want to see him in jail. I did call the police. That's clear.
And you did open up. She had me. Let's be real.
Yeah, she was my lifeline.
And I was, because I was across nations.
Yeah.
Because I am that friend. You tell me, I'm coming with.
We've had to stop shows because she tried to fight dudes for me.
I will.
Perhaps at that time your mind didn't register the serious.
Oh, you know what? I didn't know it was domestic violence until the cop said, this is what he said to me.
I can't wait.
The police officer said to me while he was at my house, he said, do you want to press charges? And I said, no. And I said, why? And he said, let me just say this to you. I will not press charges because you asked me not to, but I will keep this number on this record. And he said, because, and I never forgot this, in my experience, domestic violence cases don't get better. They escalate to someone being killed. I remember that. Now, things have gotten better since then, but he kept calling me a victim of domestic violence, and I was very offended. What you mean, victim? I'm strong. I'm from Baltimore. What you mean? Like, what?
It insinuates weakness.
Ooh.
And as Black women, in our strength, we don't like.
I never put those.
I'm going to try my hardest not to be emotional.
That's what I said. Now it makes sense. I remember even saying to everybody, I don't like that. I'm not a victim of domestic violence. I'm not a victim. Then I got into therapy and stuff, and she would say the same thing. And I was like, I don't like that.
But it's your reality.
It felt like a weakness. Like, I'm strong. What you mean? I don't fight.
But guess what, ladies? It doesn't diminish your strength.
You can't even say ladies.
Men, too.
Yeah.
It doesn't diminish your strength.
No, it doesn't.
You are not. It means that this happened. Victim means something happened
to you. Yeah.
Somebody offended you. It's just a position.
Mandie suffered a domestic violence situation. And so she went through it in the most storybook way. And it's so unpredictable because, again, she's labeled from the guys, not from us, as a nigga.
Yeah. And being difficult,
And
as
being-
you said.
And being hard up and being strong. And so to hear that, it was very shocking because it's like, she fights. I've seen it.
Yeah. I've seen it.
And passionate about who she is.
Whips,
Like
okay?
brand.
It's shocking to the world
Yeah.
to know that people like her are, I'm not going to call you a victim because you are not subjected to domestic violence. And so it's difficult because of who she is.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with the beginning. I'm going to ask a question.
Okay.
Because I remember when they started, and I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm going to say it on here. It was a conversation
for everybody.
I learned about y'all when y'all dressed alike at a gig. Y'all had on sweatsuits.
I'm going to explain.
And we were like
that.
Let's
start from the top. Our relationship started because if you ever follow me on social media, but the relationship before him, I thought that I would take a different approach to. I kept his identity completely hidden.
Yeah.
So when I would post him, I would post like maybe his arm, like this tattoo.
Yeah.
We got this tattoo like on our anniversary. That's our anniversary day. So I would do things like that to let y'all know I got somebody, but it's not your business.
No,
Because that's where I was.
Right.
I felt like I had the quintessential perfect man.
Yeah.
So that's where I was.
Right.
Well, I found out that he was
Not it.
Okay.
He's a Libra.
I like, hello.
Hold on. So what
Keep going, but
so you understand.
You just took her.
And the crazy thing is they say that Geminis and Libras are supposed to be
a match. It really is.
So when I found out his transgressions,
Okay.
and this is going back to the point of me being such a man.
Yes.
If you are a part of my squad, which is my band, we have a group text. So I sent in the group text and he was a part because at the time he was just another band member.
Okay.
So I sent in a group text. What is the quickest way that I can get back at this nigga?
Ooh.
And the first person to respond
was him.
And what he said was the person that we were just talking about as it pertains to the other situation.
Right.
He said, you should deal with him because that would make him mad. But here's what I knew. Nah, that ain't the one that would piss him off.
Okay.
Because what I did know is that my ex before this ex that we're speaking of would always watch him. Because this ex that we're talking about, the DV situation, had a crush on me for like 3 years.
Okay.
So he watched me, he waited, he literally studied me and he played his part until it was his time. And what I know is that the ex that I'm speaking of would always say, that boy like you.
So it was obvious.
Was it obvious for you though? Did you?
Yeah, because he didn't hide it. Like he would text me on his own and just be like, "Hey, pretty girl, I'm just checking on you, or I'm just making sure you good. Like you got to know I love you outside of this music." He literally told me the first time he ever met me, he saw me on the Freeman stage, and was like, "Who is she?"
Yeah.
And he told other people about it. So I'm not lying. If I'm lying,
so everybody knew.
Everybody knew he always had a crush on me. So fast forward to the situation. When I texted in that group chat, who could I get back? And he was like, such and such. I said, no. If I really wanted to get him back,
I'll be up under.
I'll be up under you.
Okay. Because I was there with you. I'm sorry. Because I'll be up under another.
So I texted him separately.
Yeah.
From the group chat, and I was like, what's up? And he said, and I'll never, because we talked about this frequently in our relationship. He's like, I sat up in my bed like, oh, she finna give me my shot.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he went for it.
Yep.
So that's how we started. He was a rebound. And he knew he was a rebound.
And he was okay with that.
Tell you, what did I tell you? Before this, I always preface relationships with, this can go however you want it to go. I have never lied to anybody. I have never.
I'd like to really take a moment on that. It can go however. What did I say? What did I say? Summer Walker said, I'm going to write a song about you. What song I write is up to you.
Listen, and I've got a whole EP about my ex-husband. I really don't play those type of games.
Come on.
And this is why, if a man has, every man that I've ever dated has said the same thing. I've heard about you.
Yeah.
Because they talk about it.
Yes, they are.
She's not the one that you, but there's always that one that feels like, oh no, I'm going to be different.
Yeah.
I can break her. And
Did you think he would be different? Did you think he would be different?
Can I tell you? And I was about to say, I hope he doesn't feel offended, but I don't care what.
We don't give
No, we don't.
Don't give a lame country
nigga.
dude.
Uh-huh.
So I felt like he's got to be pure. So in this country,
because in a small, like,
he's green. I want y'all to know. Mm-hmm. And ladies, please understand this. Them country dudes are the ones that you feel are low-key. The ones that are quiet are the ones that are the most observant. They are just sitting back, paying attention, watching.
Everything. Gathering,
studying. Those are the ones that you need to. It's the ones that are loud that you kind of know is the ones that are quiet, because I typically go for the ones that nobody else will go for.
Yeah.
So when people kept saying to me, you're out of his league, why would you date him? Because nobody else would.
So that was kind of what I heard. I heard that.
It is.
I'm not going to be offensive on this.
Sweet.
I'm trying my best. This is very difficult
for me. Okay.
Very difficult. Mm-hmm. I actually was also told he was very sweet.
Because
she was way out of his way.
Like, why?
And from what I knew, that was the shock behind this. It's like, oh. All right, girl. You know who she is?
So let's explain something. When you deal with a narcissist, naturally they know exactly how they should behave around whom. It was never that he didn't know he couldn't play with me.
Speak on me.
It was never that. He didn't know he couldn't play with me. He saw me as a challenge.
What you say earlier? A conqueror.
He said, I studied this girl for 3 years. I know exactly how she is. I know her vulnerabilities. Let me meet her.
I know what her man is not doing.
And he's met me where I was in my vulnerability.
Yeah.
He tried to match my vulnerability by trying to tell me this is my story.
And at the time you believed it.
And because it wasn't false.
Yeah.
He wasn't lying about where he came from. He's still very much so in that situation now. The way he grew up is the same way. Nothing has changed.
Yeah.
The reason he's covered is because narcissists are not just, they don't just come about, they are groomed. They are created. They are cultivated. And usually by narcissistic mothers. Ooh! If you ever date a man whose mother is so in y'all's business, or who, if you ever hear anything about his past and he's like, the reason that relationship didn't last because my mama didn't like her, it's because his mother is a class A narcissist.
Listen, y'all, I hope y'all don't receive anything else.
Receive that.
Receive that.
The control is crazy. So, okay, let me ask you this. Let's get to the nitty gritty. How long were y'all together?
It would have been 2 years in December. So by September,
a year and a half?
A year and a half, a little bit more than a year. In that year that we were together, almost a year, he was involved in a fatal car accident.
Yes,
that almost claimed his life. The context of time, that accident had a lot to do with why we lasted so long.
Okay. So he caused the accident happened. And then take us from there.
From there, it was kind of like, I'm going to be very transparent. My parents were very heavily invested in this relationship because this was the first time that I had shown signs of like, no, I really feel like invested. I was invested.
What made you do that with him?
Because,
why him?
So my dad is a country dude. My dad is super country. He's from probably a space in Arkansas that you've never even heard of.
Okay.
But he's also a musician.
Okay.
My dad,
he
plays organ. My dad.
So Mandie plays organ, y'all.
And the reason I do is with my dad and my mother. My mother and my father divorced when I was 9. But prior to their divorce, when it came to like doing shows or holding conferences or anything like that, they did it together. My mother would do the teaching and the directing, and my dad did the playing. Okay. So I come from this music thing. It's ingrained in me.
Yeah.
So finding another person who shares that equally and wanted that, because it was always he and I dreamed to open up a school together.
Okay.
We wanted to open up a school together because he has perfect pitch.
Okay.
And so what he did for me is something that most men couldn't do. He taught me stuff.
Okay. Yes.
He is the only man today that I've ever dated that I sat down and played for.
Oh, wow.
I genuinely told my mother and father, like I feel like this guy could really be the one.
Yeah.
So they were everybody was heavily invested. So my mother said something to me when the accident happened. My mother and I stayed literally across the hall from each other. We stayed in the same apartment.
Okay.
And she stayed across the hall. So when it happened, and I got the call from his mom, I go across the hall and I'm in shambles and I'm like, toe up like.
Yeah.
And she immediately starts speaking in tongues and going to her prayer like, but she said something to me.
So you come from real.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm a church girl.
Yeah.
Like, grouchy.
Okay.
But I like
Uh-huh.
So I go across the hall and she's going in, but when she comes out of it, she says something that's profound to me. She said, this is a very pivotal point in your life.
Mm-hmm.
She said, you can either stick with him through this, or this is your opportunity to walk away.
Ooh.
My mother said that to me.
Wow.
Was that shocking at the time?
It was offensive at the time.
Yeah.
Because I
Why
felt
would
like,
you say that?
like you know how much I love him. Because she could foresee things.
So let me stop there. So up until that point, you had not seen signs of abuse.
None.
Wow.
Absolutely none. He was the perfect I'm talking about first date. My favorite perfume, which is a cologne, because I like to wear men's cologne because it lasts. It's Valentino. So what you would normally hear smell me is Valentino. He bought me, which is not cheap.
Yeah.
Okay. He bought that for me and had it sitting in the front seat of his car. You know, this is similar to other stories.
Okay.
But he had it sitting in the front seat of his car. So I was impressed by that because he paid attention to details.
Yes.
But what I understand about narcissists is they don't pay attention to details to build bonds.
Okay.
They pay attention to details to build strategy. So him learning me had nothing to do with him wanting to genuinely love me or get to know me. He wanted to study me so he could know my patterns. So he could continue to play his game.
That's good.
And so when my mom said that to me, I was very offended. I was like, no, I'm going to stick it out. So for a year, I changed. He was at the time the MD of my band.
Okay.
So when he went down, naturally, I'm booked everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah.
I've got to figure out.
But she stays booked and busy.
Praise the Lord.
On your
And we thank God for the book.
Yeah.
Because it could be another way.
Amen.
Sitting at home not doing nothing.
Amen.
I've been doing this since I was 19 years old. But I had to reconfigure how I was going to do my thing. But out of loyalty, I never replaced him. I simply asked. I have 2 separate bands because I know my people and what they're good at.
Yeah.
So I place people in positions that I know that they're going to shine.
Okay.
I never put my people in nothing that I feel like they'll drown, or I never force them in situations that I don't think would be conducive for them to be their best.
Yeah.
So I have 2 separate bands and they do 2 different things. But this time, everybody had to come together for the sake of him.
Ooh, wow.
And so nobody was beefing. Everybody was like, sis, whatever you need, I got you. For a year of my life. I considered him. I didn't put anybody that he didn't deal with in position, because I could have asked anybody.
Yeah.
Right.
But
So considerate
of him. And I put myself to the background.
My God.
Let me say this to you, ladies and gentlemen. It is okay to be selfish. It is totally fine for you to think about what's best for you, because get this, that is what people do.
Yeah.
Everybody else is thinking about what serves them best.
Yes.
Nobody's ever thinking about your best interest.
Come on.
Everybody's always thinking about how can this
and makes me better grow. How can I?
That's good.
Benefit from this? Everybody does that. Everybody have a selfish.
The empath in me felt like I didn't deserve to think about it. I have always thought about everybody.
And you wouldn't think that with the kind of person, what I've been told about you, she's tough and she's strong and she don't play and she about that life.
And it's because I've spent my entire life servicing everybody else.
Yeah.
So, if you could be any meme, what meme would you be?
Oh my gosh. Okay, lately, I gotta go by lately. Lately, I've been